Hello everybody, my name is Cole Marnes and thank you guys for tuning in this video. In this episode we'll be talking about the NFL in week 9 on the NFL. This is part 1 of 2. If you want to watch part 2 after this video, you can go down in the link below. Click on that and I'll take you right to that video in the descriptions. We'll talk about my overall total for last week. Last week I was 7-5-2 in my picks. 7-5-1, excuse me, in my picks. As there was a tie last week again in the game in London between the Bengals and the Redskins, which led to their second tie of the season so far, which brings my season total now to 56-48-2. And before we go into the games this week, we'll talk about the bye teams, as once again we have 6 bye teams this week. As first one is the Arizona Cardinals, who suffered another loss, this time to the struggling Carolina Panthers, who say they might see if they could try to get things going on track. The Cardinals pick up another loss and making their season at 3-4-1 right now. The Chicago Bears picking up a win on Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings, so a big win for that team in Chicago. Jay Cutler looked very, very good in that game, and that brought their season total to 2-6. The Cincinnati Bengals picking up a tie against the Washington Redskins, like I mentioned, keeping their season total to 3-4-1. Houston Texans pick up a win at home against the Detroit Lions, bringing their season total to 5-3. New England right now looking like the best team in the NFL. They picked up a victory last week against the Buffalo Bills, bringing their season total to 7-1, and right now on a 4-game winning streak. And the Washington Redskins, like I mentioned with the Bengals, had a tie with them, bringing their season total to 4-3-1. Now let's get on to our games, as we'll start with our Thursday night football game, as the 5-3 Atlanta Falcons take on the 3-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These guys have already played once this year, as they are NFC South in the same division in the NFC South, as the Buccaneers picked up a victory over the Atlanta Falcons in the first week of the season. So Atlanta looking for revenge, and they have a lot better team than they looked in the first week of the season, as last week Atlanta beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, so it's a big win for the Atlanta Falcons, picking a win on the road. And Tampa Bay ended up losing a game to Oakland last week in a game that went to overtime and pretty much was almost handed to them, because the Oakland Raiders had 23 penalties in that game. In this one, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. I believe the Atlanta Falcons have such a good team, and last week we didn't even see Julio Jones get the ball too much in that game, as Matt Ryan was still able to spread the ball out. Freeman was still able to run the ball pretty decently against a very good run defense the Packers have. And for Tampa Bay, they just seem like they're an on and off team. Winston looked pretty good last week against the Oakland Raiders, who with their defense, not the greatest pass defense in the world. And I think the Atlanta Falcons, even though they're not a great defense themselves, will be able to contain Tampa Bay to a good amount. Couldn't really hold on to Aaron Rodgers, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback who threw for 4 touchdowns in that game. But I'm going to give the Atlanta Falcons the win in this one, and just like most of Atlanta's games this year, it's probably be a high-scoring game again. I'm going to give the Atlanta Falcons the win in this one, 31-24 when we go. And then to our Sunday games, as there'll be no London game this week, so we'll start out the games at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as the 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 3-4 Baltimore Ravens, who started the season 3-0 and now have lost 4 straight, as both these teams coming off a bye last week. But the good thing for the Steelers about this bye week, gave Ben Roethlisberger time to heal from his injury, and from the sounds of it right now, it sounds like he is going to be playing this Sunday. Not 100% sure about it yet, but from the sounds of it, he will be playing against the Baltimore Ravens. And because of that, I think I had to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. This team is a lot different when they have Ben Roethlisberger on the field. He's been having some issues, I feel like, this year, though, with his turnovers, as I believe there's 2 or 3 games this year he's had 2 interceptions. But I believe this team is a better overall team with him out there. Le'Veon Bell looks a lot more effective out there. Antonio Brown looks a lot better. And his Baltimore team as well, struggling right now, like I mentioned, with 4 straight losses. And I feel like this is not a game that's going to get them going, as I have the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Baltimore Ravens in this one on the road. We're going to go 28-17. Our next game is the red hot 6-1 Dallas Cowboys, who've won 6 in a row, taking on the very, 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 very cold Cleveland Browns at 0-8, and of course have lost 8 in a row. And last week, the Dallas Cowboys would pick up a overtime victory against the Philadelphia Eagles, and we may have seen Dak Prescott, some of his weaknesses in that game, as he struggled for about the first 3 quarters of that game. Finally got things going in the 4th quarter, which brought his team back, taking them to overtime, and lead his team to a victory in overtime as well. As now finally get from Jerry Jones hearing too that Prescott sounds like he is going to be the starting quarterback through the future. It sounds like it, but you never know. Jerry Jones is an iffy guy to count on his word or not, so we'll see what happens there. And for the Cleveland Browns, they picked up a loss against the New York Jets. I predicted them to win last week in that game. I thought that was a chance they had to win a game this year. Didn't work out for them again, as they had a 13-point lead, I think, in one point in that game, just blew it. They did pick up a big part on their defense this week, though, as this is the trade deadline this week, as they were able to make a trade to the New England Patriots, as they got Jamie Collins, linebacker for the New England Patriots, for a third-round pick in 2018, so a big pickup for this Cleveland defense. This might be effective pickup for this Cleveland defense, as we'll see how this works out for them this week and through future weeks, if they improve their defense maybe to stop this Cowboys offense this week. But I don't see that happening. This Dallas Cowboy team just looks too good for the Cleveland Browns to beat them. It is in Cleveland, though, so it might be a lot more closer scoring than most of us think it's going to be. So I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys picking up the victory on the road in Cleveland. We're going to see a score of 24 to 14. Our next game, we have the 2-5 Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the 5-2 Kansas City Chiefs, who have won 3 games in a row now. Jacksonville last week lost a game to the Tennessee Titans, and on Thursday Night Football and that also led to the firing of their offensive coordinator, Greg Olsen, not the tight end, of course. He's just the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville, as Nathaniel Hackett will take over as the offensive coordinator. He is the quarterback coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's see if he can make a change to this offense, make this offense just look a little bit better. And for Kansas City last week, they were able to pick up a victory over the Indianapolis Colts in a very good game. That one, as this defense for the Kansas City keeps on looking better and better each week. I believe I did hear West got hurt in that game, so it'll be interesting to see if he will be back to play this Sunday, so that's something to keep an eye on, especially if you're a fantasy owner like me, because I have him on one of my teams. But in this one, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs winning this one. They're at home once again. I believe this Kansas City is a hard place to play. That crowd can get pretty loud in Jacksonville. Having an offensive coordinator, we should see how that's going to work, but I don't think it's going to work here in week 1 for him. And I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty soundly. I'm going to go with the score of 24 to, we're going to go 10. Our next game, we have an AFC East battle, as the New York Jets at 3-5 take on the Miami Dolphins at 3-4. New York Jets were able to pick up another win last week against the Cleveland Browns, going to 3-5 now in the season, and back-to-back wins now for them. And so things starting to look improved for them, as Ryan Fitzpatrick played another decent game for the Jets, and Matt Forte as well, having another good game on the ground for the Jets. And Miami coming off a bye last week after having a pretty good winning streak. They got going themselves right now with a 2-game winning streak, as Ajay having a great running game on the ground of 200 back-to-back 200-yard running games. So we'll see if they can keep that going now after their bye week. And this one, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at home. Again, they're at home. I think it's a strong thing for this team. And I believe that they can keep this running game going and stay away from the passing. No offense to Tannehill at all, but he's a below-average quarterback in my mind right now. I haven't seen anything to prove that he is an above-average quarterback or an average quarterback. So if he can keep giving it to Ajay, I believe this team will be very, very good. And I'm going to get the Miami Dolphins winning this one against the New York Jets. We're going to say a score of 17 to 14. And Ajay, if I'm going to pick a prediction on yards, I think he'll get over 100 yards again. Maybe gets to maybe 150. We'll have to see on that one, because I think this Jets defense can struggle with the run from time to time. But we're going to go with the Dolphins winning this one, 17-14. Next, we have an NFC North battle, as the 4-4 Detroit Lions take on the 5-2 Minnesota Vikings. Detroit last week suffered a loss to Houston, as a team that was streaking. The offense did not look like they could do anything last week, as the Lions just being allergic to Lions and struggling. Oh man, I'm a Lions fan, so it's hard to watch this stuff from time to time, and you never know what this team's going to show up. Last week, the team did not show up at all. And for the Vikings, that team didn't show up last week as well, as again they got beat up by the Chicago Bears of all teams, who's the worst team in the NFC North right now on Monday Night Football. Minnesota, so trying to find a way to go here and get things improved, as now they have, after starting 5-0, and be the last remaining undefeated team that have lost back-to-back games. And this one, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, I think, will get things going this week. I think the Lions, even though you can never tell what team's going to show up, I think this Vikings defense is going to be some trouble for Detroit. And it's going to be all on the arm of Matthew Stafford, but I think he's going to probably throw an interception too in this game. And I think the Minnesota offensive line will do a little better in this game, as depending on who comes back, who's playing for the Lions. If Nada comes back, it could cause some issues for Sam Bradford in this game. But I like the Minnesota Vikings this one either way. I believe they're going to beat the Detroit Lions in this one. We're going to say a score of 21-17. And for the final game on part 1 here, we have an NFC East battle as the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-3 take on the 4-3 New York Giants. As last week the Philadelphia Eagles lost in overtime to Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football in a game that seemed like the Eagles had pretty soundly in hand as they were dominating the Dallas Cowboys until the fourth quarter and pretty much blew the game after that. So the Eagles, who were very, very strong at the beginning of the season with a very strong defense, who looked strong again on Sunday night, but until the fourth quarter, blew the game and now are 4-3 after starting the season. I think it was 3-0, I want to say. And the Giants coming off a bye now, and they've been looking pretty good here after the bye. They won back-to-back games with Beckham Jr. looking very strong so far this year, but this might be a good challenge to see if Beckham Jr. can get past his Eagles defense. And this one, I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I believe the Jets are the New York Giants, excuse me, in this game. As the Giants, I believe this offense is starting to get things clicking a little more now, especially the last couple of weeks, and especially a bye week now, a little more time to get a game plan here against this Eagles defense. I think the Giants are going to pick this one up and be able to beat up on Wentz as well, I believe, as this defense will have seen some game film on Wentz and how to get back there. It seems like a lot of teams have been doing a good job of that one so far. And I'm going to go with the New York Giants picking up the win over the Eagles in this one at home by a score of 24-17. And that is it here for part 1 of Week 9 in the NFL. Again, if you want to find part 2, you can just go down in the description below and click on the link. It'll take you right to the video. And while you're down there, if you guys want to leave some comments, do you agree with any of the picks I made this week? Why do you agree with me? Why do you disagree with me? Love to hear what you guys got to say. Right now, I want to hear, since we're at the halfway point of the season, who's your halfway MVP? As of right now, if you have to go with an MVP, it's very difficult right now. People could put Tom Brady in the board right now for that, but then again, he's only played, I think, 3 games so far since he's came back, 3 or 4 games now. And you can't really judge, I think it's 4 games, not 4 games, but you can't really judge him off 4 games right now. Ezekiel Elliott looking very strong right now for MVP. Quite a few players could be up in that one, but I'd love to hear what you guys got to say for that one. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, at ColeMartins57, I'd love to talk about the game. So if you guys want to talk about with me the games or see one of my tweets and want to reply to it, I'd love to hear what you guys got to say on there. Again, that is at ColeMartins57. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see some more of my NFL videos or other videos that I post, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate both those. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys for staying with me and watching this video. And you guys all have a great day.